What magical words convinced a 60-year-old man to propose to a woman after knowing her for only 3 months? After 60, every date isn't just an opportunity, it's a precious gift from life itself. Time is no longer as abundant as it was in your 30s and 35s for experimentation or mistakes. This is precisely why knowing how to elevate your own value and use words wisely becomes the deciding factor. Don't let careless words destroy your chance at finding true love in this final chapter of life. Smart women have mastered the art of mindful communication with men. They don't chase love. Love naturally gravitates toward them. And welcome back to Journey After 60. Today, I'll share 4 ways high-value women talk to men. Communication habits that make you unforgettable. Before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe if you're a woman after 60 who wants more elderly wisdom on love, dating, and confidence. Your future self will thank you. So let's dive into the first secret. It's not about beauty, money, or even timing. It's about the kind of words that make a man's heart open instead of close.
Number 1. Speak with warm respect, not criticism. The first way high-value women communicate is through warm respect, never criticism or contempt. This doesn't mean being a doormat. It means choosing words that honor both yourself and him, even when addressing problems. Men have a deep psychological need to feel admired and respected, especially by the women they love. When a woman speaks with warm respect, she creates emotional safety. But when she speaks with criticism, even valid points get lost because he feels attacked rather than understood. This is basic emotional intelligence for women, understanding that how you say something matters as much as what you say. Research in relationship psychology confirms this. A study published in the Journal of Family Psychology found that criticism is the single most common predictor of conflict escalation and eventual breakup. The brain science backs it up. When men feel criticized, the amygdala, the part of the brain that detects threats, lights up, while areas responsible for empathy and problem-solving shut down. They go into defensive mode, sometimes withdrawing completely. But when they feel respected, even during difficult conversations, the prefrontal cortex stays engaged, allowing for empathy, understanding, and cooperation. This is why women after 60 who master this habit often find that their relationships blossom instead of crumble. Respect doesn't mean avoiding hard truths. It means packaging those truths in a way that preserves dignity. For example, instead of saying, "You never keep your word," you can say, "I feel more valued when plans are kept," or at least updated with a quick message. The content is the same, but the delivery changes everything. This is what communication tips for women after 60 should emphasize. You can address problems without damaging the person. You can be strong without being harsh. You can maintain your relationship standards while keeping the door open for positive change. You know, Goethe once said, "Kindness is the golden chain by which society is bound together." And it's true. When your words are carried with kindness and respect, even in the middle of a disagreement, they don't break the bond between you and a man. They actually tighten it, making the connection stronger and the trust deeper. The key to mastering this mature feminine communication is practice. Start with small irritations before tackling bigger issues.
Instead of, "You left dishes in the sink again," try, "I'd appreciate it if we could keep the kitchen tidy together." Instead of, "You're always late," try, "When we're running behind, a quick call helps me adjust my expectations." I'm curious, have you noticed how differently men respond when you speak with warmth versus criticism? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might help another woman transform her relationship through mindful communication with men. But respect alone isn't enough. The next key shows strength. Number 2, use clear boundaries in your words. High-value women don't just hope men will treat them well. They communicate their standards clearly and calmly. This is what I call powerful feminine energy, the ability to be soft in delivery but firm in boundaries. It's not about being controlling. It's about authentic feminine communication that honors your worth. When you communicate boundaries with grace, you're actually giving a man a roadmap for how to love you successfully. Most men genuinely want to make their women happy, but they need clear guidance. Unclear expectations create confusion. Clear boundaries create security. This is fundamental relationship wisdom after 60. We've learned that hoping someone will read our minds doesn't work. Boundaries are different from ultimatums. An ultimatum is a threat. Do this or else. A boundary is a standard. This is what I accept, and this is what I don't. The language you use makes all the difference. Selena, a colleague I worked with about 5 years ago, came to mind. We had been introduced through a mutual friend who thought we'd get along well. At 63, she'd been married to David for 35 years. Their marriage was strong overall, but during David's early retirement, he developed a habit of raising his voice whenever disagreements came up, especially under the stress of adjusting to his new routine. Selena had tried ignoring it, arguing back, and walking away silently. Nothing worked until she learned to set a clear boundary. During their next disagreement about finances, when David's voice started rising, Selena said calmly, "David, I love you and I want to solve this together, but I won't engage when voices are raised. Let's take a break and come back in 20 minutes when we can speak respectfully to each other." The first time, David was shocked. The second time, he caught himself mid-shout and lowered his voice. By the third disagreement, he never raised his voice again. That's what happens when you stop overgiving and start setting clear relationship standards. Men rise to meet your expectations. But Selena's transformation went deeper. She started applying this principle everywhere. When David would make plans without consulting her, she'd say, "I appreciate that you're thinking ahead. Next time, could we discuss it together first? I like feeling included in decisions that affect both of us." This isn't about being cold or controlling. It's about speaking with confidence, not neediness. It's about showing that you value yourself enough to maintain your standards while still leaving room for love and partnership. This mature feminine mindset recognizes that healthy relationships require mutual respect. The language of boundaries uses kind clarity. "I don't accept being spoken to that way" is clearer than "you're being mean." "I need advance notice for social plans" is clearer than "you never consider my schedule." Communication tips for mature women often miss this crucial point. Boundaries aren't walls, they're gates. They let the right energy in and keep the wrong energy out. They create a safe space where authentic intimacy can flourish. As Eleanor Roosevelt wisely observed, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Your words can either give that consent or withhold it. When you master setting boundaries through communication, you withdraw consent to be treated poorly while keeping your heart open to love. And once you set boundaries, the next communication habit draws him even closer.
Number 3. Speak with playful feminine energy. After 60, you've earned the right to be playful without apology. High-value women know that joy, lightness, and gentle teasing make conversations magnetic. This is authentic feminine communication at its finest. In the words of Oscar Wilde, "Life is too important to be taken seriously all the time." This wisdom becomes even more precious as we age. When you speak with playful feminine energy, you remind him why he fell for you. Not just your beauty or accomplishments, but your ability to make life feel lighter and more interesting. Playful communication works because it activates what psychologists call approach behavior rather than avoidance behavior. When interactions feel fun and unpredictable in a positive way, people want more. When conversations feel heavy or predictable, people naturally withdraw. This is basic emotional intelligence for women. Understanding that the energy you bring shapes the energy you receive back. But playfulness isn't about being silly or immature. It's about bringing lightness of spirit that makes ordinary moments extraordinary. It's about having the confidence to tease gently, find humor in everyday situations, and keep conversations interesting. I think of my sister-in-law, Patricia, who I've known for over 20 years since she married my brother. She's been married for 38 years and still makes her husband laugh daily. When Frank comes home stressed from work, instead of immediately discussing problems or schedules, Patricia might greet him with, "Well, hello there, handsome stranger. You look like the kind of man who might help a lady reach something on a high shelf and maybe stick around for dinner if you play your cards right." This playful approach accomplishes several things simultaneously. It acknowledges his attractiveness, creates a moment of lightness, gives him a chance to feel helpful, and sets a positive tone for their evening. Frank's stress melts away and they reconnect before handling serious business. Patricia told me she learned this during a difficult period about 15 years ago when their conversations had become heavy and draining. She decided to change her approach, greeting Frank with curiosity, appreciation, or playful observations instead of problems. "You smell like coffee and determination," she might say. Or, "I missed your laugh today. Got any good stories for me?" The transformation was remarkable. This doesn't mean avoiding serious conversations. It means infusing daily interactions with lightness first. This magnetic feminine presence draws men in because it makes them feel young and alive again. The key to authentic playfulness is timing and reading the room. When he's genuinely upset, honor that mood. But in ordinary moments, those are perfect opportunities for gentle teasing or playful observations. Another aspect is what I call curiosity over criticism. Instead of, "You always leave your socks on the floor," try, "I'm genuinely curious. What goes through your mind when you take off your socks? Do they just escape?"
The playful curiosity often gets better results because it doesn't trigger defensiveness. If this resonates with you, save this video and share it with your friends or women's groups. Let's spread this awareness about the power of playful, authentic communication after 60. And the most powerful communication of all is also the simplest.
Number 4. Express genuine appreciation. High-value women express genuine appreciation regularly, but they do it strategically. They don't just thank men for what they do, they appreciate who men are, their efforts, their character, and their intentions, even when results aren't perfect. Men have what researchers call performance anxiety in relationships. Unlike women, who often feel valued for emotional support, men tend to feel valued primarily for what they provide or accomplish. When you appreciate his efforts, especially when things don't go perfectly, you feed his deepest need, to feel valued for who he is, not just what he produces. This goes deeper than simple gratitude. Surface appreciation says, "Thank you for taking out the trash." Deep appreciation says, "I love how you notice the little things that keep our home comfortable." The first acknowledges the action. The second acknowledges the man behind the action. Think of those everyday situations, when he struggles to fix something around the house, when he worries about your safety, or when he tries to make you laugh and the joke falls flat. These are the very moments where genuine appreciation matters most. If you focus on the imperfection, he feels small. But if you highlight the intention, his persistence, his care, his desire to make you happy, he feels proud and seen. John Gottman's research shows relationships thrive on a 5-to-1 ratio of positive to negative interactions. But here's what most relationship wisdom misses. Quality of appreciation matters more than quantity. One moment of truly seeing him deeply is worth 10 generic thank yous. Psychologists call this generous perception, the ability to see the love behind imperfect actions. This is mature feminine communication at its best. It transforms potential conflict into connection, because you're not just acknowledging what he did, you're affirming the man he is. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any set of circumstances. As Viktor Frankl once said, when you choose to appreciate genuinely, you exercise that same freedom, the freedom to elevate love instead of eroding it. The beauty is that appreciation creates a positive cycle. When a man feels genuinely appreciated, he naturally wants to do more that's worthy of appreciation. But when he feels criticized or taken for granted, he withdraws. That's why communication tips for women after 60 should emphasize appreciation over correction.
So, by now, you've seen the heart of it. Communication that reflects your worth, inspires respect, and builds real emotional safety. That's what dating advice for women after 60 should be about. Not changing yourself, but expressing your true self with wisdom and intention. Remember, you've lived long enough to know that authentic connections matter more than perfect ones. You've earned the right to communicate your standards clearly while remaining open to love. This is the power of relationship wisdom, after 60. You know what you want, and you're not afraid to speak it into existence. True communication mastery comes not from controlling what others do, but from expressing who you are so clearly that the right people can't help but respond. Virginia Satir taught us this. Which of these 4 communication habits will you practice this week? Maybe it's setting one clear boundary with warmth, or appreciating someone's effort instead of just their results. Share your commitment in the comments. Your intention might inspire another woman to transform her relationship through powerful, authentic communication. Don't forget to like this video if it resonated with you. Subscribe for more elderly wisdom on confidence, dating, and relationships after 60, and check the description for additional resources on feminine energy and mindful communication. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.